Good evening, everyone. I'm super excited to tell you about our company, ProteanSeq. You may have all heard about next-generation DNA sequencing technology. Today, you're going to learn about the next-generation protein sequencing technology and what it's capable of. Firstly, what is proteins and why should we care about it? You may have life is composed of three basic fundamental biomolecules: the DNA, the RNA, and the proteins. If you can take an analogy to a house, the DNA is the blueprint and the instruction manuals to make your house, while the plumbing, the bolts, the nuts, the glass panes, and every structure and functional parts are what make the house. So protein information is important for human health. There are a lot of technologies that address the DNA information problem. So let me tell you why protein information is critical for human health. Going back to our house analogy, a disease can be thought of as water dripping from your ceiling. You do not go to the blueprints or contact the builders to find out what the problem is. You get a ladder and spot the broken pipe. ProteanSeq does that. We provide protein-level information at an unprecedented sensitivity of a single molecule. And this direct protein measurement is important across a wide range of questions. And when we talked about our technology to people, we had interest from application scientists in Genentech to Nobel laureates wanting to solve important biological questions. The value of direct protein measurements is important in the drug discovery phase of drug development pipeline. 45% of the cost of making drugs is spent on technologies in this phase. And like I said before, this is typically an indirect glimpse into how cells and drugs work. Let me give you a much more concrete example of where we stand and where the value is. Here is the current solution for a very critical problem in immunotherapy. And that problem is the antigen discovery part. It's complex because it requires a lot of technologies of DNA sequencing, a computational prediction, chemical synthesis, and rounds of it to come out with an answer. If it's so complex for you guys to just see this pipeline, just imagine how complex it is for the scientists who actually try to solve this problem. But ProteanSeq, by directly measuring the proteins, we have a direct solution to this problem. You may ask, there are other technologies that can detect and measure proteins today, aren't they? True, but would you want to sacrifice a quarter of your pancreas for a diagnosis? So ProteanSeq, by being 6 orders of magnitude in sensitivity to a traditional mass spectrometer, we can work with very low sample volumes. And this is where we solve the problem of drug discovery. So where are we currently at? ProteanSeq has the technology, which is of 3 parts, which is the consumables, the instrument, and the data analysis to provide the answer. We have scientifically validated this, and we have 2 patents that are addressed with controlled samples analysis. The market, needless to say, of diagnostics, immunotherapy, and proteomics is large and rapidly growing. Where we want to focus our initial entry is into the lung cancer treatment at the discovery phase. So our go-to technology strategy is we have identified a number of key partners who would be our first people who would provide us samples so that we can further improve the complexity of samples that we can currently handle. And then later, we would productize this technology to be used by a wider audience. Our business strategy is twofold. With an initial investment about $1.5 million, we think we can do a sequencing service industry where we take in samples from our partners, use the technology in-house, and provide them with a solution. This way, we get positive cash flow flowing, and we also get to optimize our technology. And then finally, we would productize this and grow it into the larger market. Our team at UT have worked for the last 7 years to develop this technology. Edward Marcotte is our lead investigator, and we are currently seeking a business lead and advisor. And finally, ours is a phased go. SEAL program has taught us that there are a few more checkboxes that we need to tick off. We are going to, before the launch of this company, we are going to make sure that we have a more in-depth market validation. We have built a management team, and finally, we have a few scientific goalposts achieved. Thank you very much. ProteanSeq, look out for us. We change proteomics one peptide at a time.